everyone, and welcome to part 3 of the I Can and I Am series with me, Lucy Wheeler. Now, so far in the I Can and I Am series, we've been talking about motivational topics. We've been talking about fear and how to overcome that, and then how to create a life that you love. That was part 2. Now today we are jumping in and getting really straight on with the action. We are talking about all things actionable and some amazing steps that you can take to transform your life if you're looking to make changes in your life and revolutionize your training. So we'll be talking about 3 things today. The first being discipline. Now let's jump straight in. Okay, discipline. This is a tricky one. Lots of people use it in a negative way and use it as a bar and think of it as something that I really have to do, something I must do, things I must keep regimented. Whereas discipline is actually something so positive that you can have and implement in your training programs. So by discipline, I do mean that you need to have a program and you need to stick to it. So the easiest example for me to give for this is marathon training. Now, for those of you who've ever done any kind of run event, you will know you need a plan, and it's so important that you stick to that. Now, there's a difference between listening to your body and knowing that you need to rest, that you shouldn't be doing a session if you've got a little niggle, if you need to switch and just slow down. There's a difference between that and just not getting out of bed in the morning to do the session. Now, I want you to make sure that you are being disciplined, and to do that you want to look at creating a proper training plan. Now, I actually do coach people through run plans, and I make sure that they do not overtrain. Overtraining is so common, it's crazy. Actually, when you're running, often you might be running less in the training program than at other times because there's so much more you need to be doing as well. You need to be doing strength and mobility training. You need to be making sure you're resting properly, and all of that is so important. Now, discipline means doing all your sessions, but it also means resting. So when I'm saying that again about listening to your body, it's being disciplined and not overtraining. Now, I am a huge advocate of training in the morning. I love the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and it just basically, the idea of that is to get up and do everything you need to do in the morning. That's your power hour in the morning. And I really do believe that if you set your training for the morning, there's going to be no excuses, and it's going to help you to stay disciplined. Another tip, which I absolutely love, was something that I discovered in the 2016 Olympics. So as you will remember, the 2016 Olympics were hosted in Rio. So from watching them in the UK, in England, it meant that I was trying to catch all the live races. So I had loads of people that I wanted to watch, one of them being Jessica Ennis-Hill. I had the swimmers that I was trying to watch, Adam Peaty, and so what I did, I didn't want to miss Mo Farah's race either, or Greg Rutherford doing his long jump, and what I did was put those names next to their event time on my phone. So I remember at one time it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd put Adam Peaty on my phone. So I'd put Adam Peaty, and it's 4 a.m. So when I woke up, I wasn't thinking, oh my god, what on earth am I doing at this time? Like, why is it dark outside? I knew, I was like, oh yeah, it's the race. So I popped it on, caught up with a little bit of commentary beforehand. Now, little did I know that I'd saved these race alarms in my phone, the different times. About a week went past, and then little did I know, I set an alarm one morning, and I'd used that same named alarm, so the same name label on the alarm, and I'd set it to go off at 6 o'clock for my own training session. And I woke up at 6 o'clock and I thought, I do not want to go. I don't, and that's being honest, I don't always want to do the training sessions. I am just like you, even though I'm full of motivation and inspiration, I do wake up and I don't always want to do the sessions. And I looked at my phone and I saw Jessica Ennis-Hill, and you may not know this, but I am a girl from Sheffield and she is my idol, and I just thought, do you know what, she wouldn't be missing a session, would she? And I got myself out of bed and I thought, yes, that inspired me, that motivated me. And then for the rest of the week, I've used the other participants I've got, so Adam Peaty, Mo Farah, and when their alarms went off, I hopped out of bed and thought, do you know what, Olympians get up, they train every day and I can too. My training session is going to be nothing like how hard theirs are and how exhausted their bodies must be and how much pressure they have to deal with. And it got me thinking then in my sessions, and I was thinking, like, how do they deal with the pressure and the constant the media things and pressure from themselves to just constantly do better, pressure to help for the public. And I just thought, oh gosh, I can definitely do my sessions. So I would do that if you are looking for a little bit more discipline and a little bit more inspiration in the morning that's going to help you to get out and train, because that really, really helped me, and it's something that I have shared with a lot of people that I coach. And it is, you wake up in the morning, there's no excuses then, you've not had a bad day at work, your children have not been ill or not been a tiring day, and you can just get going and get on with your session, get it done, get it dusted. And discipline is the crucial element. It might seem pretty boring, you might think of your top 3 things, Lucy, why did you pick discipline? But it's so important. It's the difference between being a success and being a failure. So now we'll move on to number 2. Now my other actionable step is how to deal with failure. Okay, so this is a tough one. Failure, again, is something that just knocks people out. Something happens in an event or in their training, it doesn't go to plan, and they just feel rubbish, and they just think, I can't do this, I am not good enough. And we'll move on in a minute to deal with how you deal with those kind of thoughts, but dealing with failure is actually something really important. So let's say that you've done an event. Let's say that you did a half marathon and you were going for a sub 2 time, and really you got 2:45, so it was quite a big difference. You weren't even close, not like 2:05 all 5 times, 2:45, fab. Anyone who does a half marathon, fab. But say you are 45 minutes, so a good, almost double, almost 50% more than what you wanted to achieve. So you're there, and the first thing you need to do is take a step back. So you need to just take a moment, take a step back, and realise that you just need some space, that you should not be judging yourself at this point. So you take a step back. The second thing that you want to be doing is not being so hard on yourself, and so you want to evaluate things. So you need to once you've stepped back at things, just give yourself a rest. So the first thing is give yourself a rest, take a step back. The second thing is to evaluate. So you're going to look first at the things that went well. Now this is where you need to be honest, because did things go well enough for you? Did you actually do the training you were meant to do? Jumping ahead of myself there. The first thing is to look at the things that went well. So what did go well for you? Did you learn more about nutrition? Did you perhaps learn that you don't like morning training sessions and that you're way better in the evening? Did you find some better kit that you like? Did you manage not to get any blisters this time if you're running? Did you manage to go to 90% of your sessions? So look first at all the good things, the things that went really well in your training program, and perhaps the things that went well in the race. Perhaps the first half went amazingly well. And write those down and write them on paper, or write them in something that you can keep, because you're going to want to look at these because you're taking this challenge again, and you're going to want to know these later on. So take a look at what went well. Now take a look at what went wrong. So honestly, did you do the training? So did you actually do what you told yourself that you were going to do? Did you actually stick to those sessions? Did you get up? Did you do the mobility work? Were your legs giving out at the end because you never actually made it to more than 7 miles if you're doing a half marathon? Did your legs give up because you were injured? And did you get injured because you weren't doing strength training? Be honest. What went wrong? Did you miss a lot of sessions? Or did you just do them a bit half-assed? Did you just not really try? Were you doing those speed sessions and not really speeding through? Did you do speed sessions? Was all of your training like, you can follow a program, but were you following a proper program? Like, was that where you failed? Like, where were the weaknesses? Or did you do all of the running properly, but your nutrition was terrible? Write those things down, and then you're gonna need those, because the third thing that you need to do is get back on the horse. So you need to book yourself in for another race as soon as possible, and you are going to do this. You can do this. I know you can. If you can get around a course, if you can sign up for an event, I strongly believe that a lot of people, especially women, if you're a woman watching this, women are more likely to wait until they feel able to do something than men who will do something even though they don't feel able to do it. And that's a real shame if you're a lady, because that means we're capable of so much and we don't even believe that we can. So the third step there is sign up for something else. Have a look at those lists, review. Perhaps you didn't give yourself enough time to train. That might have been why it was that you thought, well, I've done some running before and I think I can do a marathon. A marathon needs a lot of training and it needs a lot of dedication, and things like that, they're exhausting, especially if you've got a normal life. And by normal life I mean a full-time job, perhaps children, perhaps other responsibilities. It can be pretty exhausting, so that might be why as well. Okay ladies, the third thing that I'm going to talk to you about tonight is self-belief and confidence. So this is one of my favourite things, and it's all about the mean girl in your head. Okay, so what does a mean girl in your head mean? Well, I know that when I try and do something, I'll have brilliant ideas. I mean, I think they're just brilliant, and then there's this little voice in my head that's like, no, it's not very good. That's a rubbish idea. Who's gonna be interested? Like, even when I was trying to do this course, for example, I thought, I am going to coach people because I believe that I've got so much that I can offer. I have done a lot, ladies. Like, I have climbed Kilimanjaro, and I went on that trip by myself. I cycled London to Paris, and a few weeks beforehand I'd never even been on a road bike. I've trekked in the Arctic. I ran across the desert for 5 days. I didn't have any experience in those things. Like, I am not an incredible athlete. I believe that I'm very relatable because I just try. I just think I am going to do this, and I do it because I don't pick ridiculous things. Like, I already ran. I didn't think, right, I'm just going to go running and start with an ultra marathon. I didn't do that. I was quite savvy. I started 5Ks and 10Ks, a half marathon, and I did quite a few marathons. I didn't just pluck it out of nowhere. It was a long training session and a lot of time of training that I had. And I know that I have learned so much from those experiences. And I knew that I could share this with you. And I know if you are watching these videos, there is something incredible inside of you. There is. And I want you to start unleashing that and start believing in yourself. But I know that you won't, because I know that you're just exactly like me, and you have these ideas and then you just think, I'm not good enough. But you are. You really, really are. And the only person stopping you from doing this is you. What if in a year's time or 3 years' time something happens to you and you think, oh my god, I wish I'd done it then. Why didn't I do it then? You're going to really kick yourself, and there is no good time. There is no good time to train for a marathon. There's no good time to train for an ultra marathon or go on an event. There's no perfect time. And the great thing about time is that it is always the same, because a lot of people say, I don't have time. But you're always going to have 24 hours in a day. You're always going to have the same amount of time. So this is your time now. When you're thinking about it, when you're believing in something, this is your moment. This is when you can do it. And you just need to say, and I'm going to share with you the moment, I've got it written down here, of when I just was about to say, you just need to say, shut up. Because I was training for my second marathon. The first marathon I did, it was the Paris Marathon in 2013, and I was on a sort of a training program with work at the time. So I was actually training, but on a university placement, but really doing minimum hours. and they were paying me, so I didn't have to get an additional job, but I wasn't really doing much work, and I just had to do the course. It was pretty easy and I was finding it all fine, so I was not really doing much, and I was doing my marathon training, so it was pretty easy going compared to the next time I tried to do it a few years later. I then had a full-time job. I was working in the city. I was exhausted. I was running my own, like the house and things, and a little family, but a little dog. I had lots of responsibilities and was exhausted, and then I was doing marathon training on top. And I didn't know as well, I got gifted a place. I was very lucky to be gifted a place from a brand. Excuse me, I didn't know at that point that a few weeks beforehand, I hadn't known that I was going to be running it. So I was a bit behind. And I'd had 12 weeks, whereas I'd probably wanted to have started a bit sooner and been in a better place. Anyway, here I was a couple of weeks into the programme, and I was running, and it was raining, and I was trying to do 8 miles. Now, 8 miles is a significant amount of time, a significant amount of distance. It was over for an hour for me. That's my run speed, and I was struggling. I was probably only about 6 miles, and I was like, I can't run any further. And I'd got this voice in my head, and it was saying, "You're rubbish, you can't do this, you should have started sooner, you have not got time to do this, you've not got time because there's not enough weeks, you've not got time in your programme, why do you think you can do this? Why on earth would a brand want you to represent them? You are going to let the brand down, you are going to embarrass yourself. You cannot do this. You can't even do 8 miles. 8 miles isn't even that far. You've not even done a half marathon. You can't do this." And it was going round and round and round in my head. And I just stopped and went, "Enough!" And I just was like, oh my God. And it was just it's like having voices in my head. And I suppose if you say that, it sounds a little crazy. But honestly, that is an extreme version. And I just was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And as soon as I was saying that I couldn't do that, it made me realise that I needed to be telling myself that I could. And that is literally that moment. I can remember where I was. I remember that it was raining. I can remember what I was wearing. And that is the moment that's changed all of my training, because since then I created a mantra. And after shouting enough, I was just like, I can do it. And I started running again, and I was going, I can. And then I said, I can, and I am. And I just realised at that moment that I could, and that by telling myself that I could, that was the amazing part, that I really started to see improvements when I was telling myself that I could do it. And from then on, I was just like, oh my God, I can and I am, I can and I am. And I said it over and over again because I was doing it, because that's the thing. At that time, in that moment, I was doing it. And that's what this is all about. When you're doing marathon training, it's not easy, and it's not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And if it was easy, you wouldn't be training, would you? Because you just go and run a marathon. And that's the point. You are doing the training, you are doing it. So you are doing this program because you are taking action. This is you now. I can and I am. And I've written here, encourage them to start their own mantra. But I'm happy for you to adopt mine if that works for you, because you are part of this tribe now. You can and you are doing this. And just by signing up for this, you've said to yourself that you can make changes and that you are going to make changes. And it's a huge thing to have this self-belief, and it doesn't go away. So I'm going to link a video of what got taken before I went out to run in the desert, and how frightened I was about letting myself down, and about embarrassing myself, and about failing. And it doesn't, just because I have the mantras and I have this positive mindset, it doesn't mean I'm not scared. It doesn't mean that I'm not afraid. I am afraid. I am afraid of failure, and I'm not trying to teach you anything to say failure is going to go away. And that's what we learned in week 1, wasn't it? Failure is always going to be there. You have to learn to take that on board with it, and you have to know that that voice in your head, you can train her. You can train her or him, depends on what it is. And it's just, I call her the mean girl in my head, because it's kind of like bitchy things that she says. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, shut up. But you can train her. And what's really good is that you can get that voice to speak louder, the voice that's your cheerleader. You can get her to cheer the loudest. She'll drown out the negativity, and you can feed either one of them. You can feed the negativity and you can talk about the things that are going to go wrong, or you can plan. And we talked about this before as well. You can look and say, right, this voice in my head is saying I can't do it. And why are they saying I can't do it? They're saying because I haven't trained right. Well, yeah, actually I've missed every speed session because I don't like doing them. So you think, right, come on, speed sessions, I need to do them. I either need to get a coach to keep me accountable, or I need to get a friend. And they don't even have to be a runner, just get some of your best friends to keep you accountable. Some of my friends are fantastic and they don't run, they just keep me accountable to my training programme. Get your mum to do it. Mums are brilliant about that. They will love to keep you accountable, and you can explain how well you've done. And they will say, come on, because they'll be worried about you not doing the training. Keeping yourself accountable and listen to what the voice says, for sure. Listen to what's being said and whether there isn't any merit in those things that you are saying, because it is your belief and it is your concerns. But you just need to get to teach your cheerleader to shout louder. And self-belief and confidence, you have to appreciate they are not going to happen overnight. And you get more confident by trying to do things, and you get more confident by going along in the lines when I've talked about running journeys, 5k. Should come before you do a big leap. And it doesn't mean you can't do a big leap. I hadn't done a lot of climbing or hiking before I climbed Kilimanjaro, but I knew a lot of that was about mindset. And I actually did a program that I put together myself, a training program of times when I really wanted to stop. So workouts which were really, really tough. As part of my training. I also went on a lot of hikes that weren't that interesting as well, so some of them were pretty boring, and that really helped. So it's remembering to train your mindset. So like going for Kilimanjaro, it's not just about loads of long walks. It's not just let's go for a nice long walk along the beach and let's walk for 4 hours and then 5 hours. It's doing boring things as well, like in those sessions which are tough. All of that is about mental resilience, and it helps build your confidence. So when we talk about confidence and self-belief, they're together, and you can train those by just doing short workout sessions. You can train them by doing anything you don't like. So often at work, if there's something I don't want to do, I'll do it first. So again, it's a discipline thing that we spoke about just at the start of this video. And it's a thing that gives you confidence, things that you think you can't do even in the day. You do them so well, and you just build them up. And that was all about what the 28-day challenges are. So you've got another set for this week, and we've got another set for the final week for the full 28 days, the 7 daily challenges. And they are designed to make you feel more confident. And just little changes, and for you to say, oh, I didn't do that. Well, why didn't I do that? I didn't do that one because I didn't have any plan, and I didn't have any plan because I didn't know how to do it. And can you see how it all feeds together? And so that has been the aim of those, is to give you the confidence for you to have looked at something and thought, oh my gosh, I can't do a day when I don't spend any money. How am I going to do that? And it's that kind of thing that will happen when you're out in the field, or if, for example, even when you're thinking now, like, I want to change a job, if you're someone that's wanting to change your job, you're thinking, well, I can't do that, I can't change, I can't just start a new career. What's Lucy saying? Like, I've done my dream day, but I can't just start a whole new career, can I? Well, you can. Because you don't have to start a brand new career. I'm not saying get up on a Monday morning after a Sunday and go to a brand new job. You start with little steps, you lead yourself in, carefully, build your confidence up, and in time, you'll realise that you can. And I really hope that from watching these videos, you realise now that you can. I believe in you, but you need to believe in you. And if you've learned anything on this course, believing in yourself is the hugest thing that you can do. And it won't just happen overnight either. And that's really important. I don't want people to think, right, well, I can't do it because I just still don't believe in myself. But go out, go and do something you couldn't do. Okay, it might not go right away. We'll learn from it. We'll do those steps that we just had in the middle about what you're going to do, and you'll learn from failure. And then you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again until you do get there. And then you're going to learn from what went right then, and you're going to take bigger steps. So it's all these small steps, they all add up. Nobody just wakes up in the morning and goes and runs a marathon. There's years and years. It's like people, when there's a display, isn't there, people say this is success. It's never overnight success. It's always years of hard work first. And I cannot wait for our coaching sessions next week to chat about your big plans. And I hope this has been a helpful video, and I'm going to sign off now.